Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Ross with stammer.ai, and today I'm going to be showing you a really cool example of a custom function that is built with an AI agent that has access to a Google Sheet. So inside a Google Sheet, there could be a lot of different data depending on what it is that is in this Google Sheet. For this example, I created it as a list of employee information from our favorite office at Dunder Mifflin. And I just had some sample data created by ChatGPT that gives name, email, location, favorite color, date joined, and their phone number. But this could be basically any information that you have in a Google Sheet. And the idea here is we're creating an AI agent that has access to all of this information. So for example, if we created what I'm calling this the Dunder Mifflin HR AI agent, anybody could type in a name and the AI agent will systematically go to the corresponding Google Sheet. It will then pull all of the data that it has access to based off of the row and corresponding to the name. And then it's going to return all of that data back to the AI agent. And then the AI agent can format it so that it looks nice and send it back to the user. So within a couple seconds, the information that is in the Google Sheet, which could be quite deep or difficult to get to, could be returned very quickly to the user. So I can show you the Google Sheet here. So we have all this information, and let's say we want to update something. We could say that, Ryan's favorite color, instead of it being black, we'll just put it as white. And so if we go to the AI agent itself, we can see that here's an example conversation. And if we start a new chat, or I can just refresh the entire page, I could say I want to get some information on an employee, and then let's type out Ryan. The AI agent will be able to get the information, and we can see that the favorite color is now white. And that's directly because we just updated it right then and there. And we could do this basically with anything or any type of data within this Google Sheet. So all this information is available now because of a few different things. And so this is the mind map of how this flow works. What we just saw is the conversation that the user and the AI agent are having together, built on stammer.ai. The user is going to send a message with a name. The AI agent will extract that data, and then it's going to send it to the code that's in Replit. All of the code, examples, prompts, everything that you need to copy and paste and basically like duplicate this for yourself is going to be available in the documentation, docs.stammer.ai, and it walks you through the entire process. It even gives you the starting prompt. It walks you through the entire process of setting up the Google Cloud, and you can copy and paste the code specifically for this example directly into Replit, and you can test it and deploy this yourself. So the data in your Google Sheet is probably going to be different than the example here, and there's going to be some small changes that you'll need to make. But the cool thing is you can basically just copy all of this code into ChatGPT and tell it to make certain changes based off of what you want to happen. So for example, in my starter prompt at the top here, I'm telling it specifically that I want to get the information from the Google Sheet with the names of the columns that are actually in my Google Sheet. And then I'm giving an example input and an example output. So that way the AI knows that what is to be expected for the code to be able to take in as an input and then out as an output. So the first step is to ensure that you get the code inside your Replit account that can actually run this stuff appropriately. And the most difficult part of this tutorial is going to be setting up access to your Google Sheets. Now, the way that Google does this is it's called Google Cloud or Google Cloud Console. And essentially what this allows you to do is set up a API or a permission with being able to access specific data inside documents or information inside your Google Drive. And so these steps right here will walk you through the entire process of getting your Google Cloud project created, setting up the API, getting the right credentials, and then sharing all this information directly with the code. So that way the code is able to access the information behind the Google wall or safety wall, basically. As long as you just follow these steps in order, it should be relatively easy for you to copy and paste this for yourself in your own project. And once you have this set up within your Google Cloud Console, everything should start working where you can then start testing it inside of something like Reqbin. Now, when we are creating and testing a custom function, it's always important to start testing within Reqbin before you add it to your AI agent to ensure that your code is working properly and getting all the correct data from the Google Sheet here. So if we were to go in and we wanted to test this, we would get the URL from the Replit code. Now the Replit code is going to be deployed, which is giving you the link. And all you have to do is click deploy, and then you'll get this URL. The URL will then be appended with this information to be created as the full URL here. And there's many examples of this that I have on YouTube, as well as in the documentation where it shows you exactly how this. So if we paste in the URL and then we add in the information that we need to test here, and then we click send, it will return all the information. We can see that now this is returning all the correct information, and we could change this name to anybody. Let's say Jim, for example. And now it's going to return all the information for Jim. Now, because we are testing it here successfully, we know that there won't be any errors when we try to run this custom function within our AI agent. So we can basically take all of the information that we're pasting into Reqbin, and we can paste it directly into our custom function. The URL will be pasted into value. We can create any alias or any function name, and we're going to copy and paste the parameters from the template. And if it starts to not work, we can ask ChatGPT to, hey, take this example parameters and generate a new set that will pass the name correctly and then get all the corresponding data from this Google Sheet. Once this is set up, everything should be working, and the final step will be making sure that your prompt is set correctly. So all of the examples that I've been making about custom functions have a very simple prompt, which is essentially just a single line that says, you will ask the user for the name of the employee in this scenario, and then you're going to run the function get user data. When it's running this function, that's when we're getting the data. This is when we're getting the data back from the Google Cloud Console, back through the code, and back to the AI agent, where we can then see the data as it formulates its response and then sends it back to us in this nice format. So a couple things to keep an eye out for is when you're creating or using ChatGPT to create the code for your custom function, it's always important to show and tell it what you expect as the input and what you want as the output. This will really help ensure that the code is set up correctly to make sure that it actually does what you're expecting it to do. Now, there is going to be one place in here where you're going to want to change the name, and this is going to be based off of the name of your actual spreadsheet itself. That, in addition to a couple of the other things within the Google Cloud Console, will be where, if any issues arise, will be from setting up the Google Cloud Console, because that is quite a few steps. But like I said before, it is relatively easy. And once you get this type of example set up and created, it becomes a lot easier to start to fork these templates that you've created for yourself to create other custom functions, because the system is essentially the exact same for creating a custom function for pretty much anything. There's an input from the user. That input is used to do something via the code, and that code could be connected to basically anything. And once the code is able to return a set of data, that data can then be sent back to the AI agent, which the user can then read. This formula is essentially how all custom functions can be built and implemented within pretty much any AI agent for any client. The examples for all of this and the code and the prompts and everything that you need will be in the links down below. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.